A portion of today's video is sponsored by Salesforce. Yo, Jonathan here. We are rapidly just blowing through 2021, which is wild. But with that, I wanted to do a breakdown of some of my favorite tech this year thus far, with some honorable mentions from 2020 because we don't really count that year. And more so, this is just some of the tech that I've been using the most. Yo, quick update because in the span of filming this video, two pretty major tech announcements happened, both the new 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros, as well as the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro. So just wanted to do this update and throw some honorable mentions. I don't have the MacBooks yet, but I do have both Pixel 6 Pro as well as the regular Pixel 6. And I think I'm going to enjoy all four of those, so stay tuned for that coverage. All right, update two, I lied. I do have the new MacBook Pro. It's kind of awesome. So if you missed that video, go ahead and check that out here. And on top of that, the new AirPods 3 came out as well, which I'm also enjoying. So just all kinds of tech on tech on tech on tech. Kicking off the list is something brand new that just dropped, the Nintendo Switch OLED. Being a fan of OLED displays, whether it be on a TV or a smartphone, this absolutely piqued my interest. It's been a little challenging prying it away from Kevin Kenton, who's done all the coverage, but with the limited time I have had with it, I am pretty blown away. It is by no means a situation where you need to go run out and sell your current Switch, but if you're upgrading from a Switch Lite or you currently don't own one, the bigger screen, the OLED panel, the better battery life, the better kickstand is all. Next up is the iPhone 13. The problem is I'm just not quite sure whether it's the regular 13 or the 13 Pro because honestly, it has put me in one of the biggest tech dilemma decisions I've ever had. As some of you may be aware, I am actually still currently on an iPhone 12 mini on iOS 14. Someone throw me in tech jail. But with that, I have had the hardest time deciding, do I want to upgrade to the 13 mini because it fixes all of the 12 mini shortcomings, or do I want to bite the bullet and jump up to the 13 Pro? Weirdly enough, I would say that the 120 Hz ProMotion display isn't the #1 thing kind of calling my name towards the 13 Pro. I would say Pro RAW, ProRes, which is coming, the battery life, and just the cameras in general are bananas. Then on the other hand, we have the 13 mini. I absolutely love the form factor, and that's probably the biggest thing just holding me from jumping headfirst into the 13 Pro. Beyond the better battery life, it can now shoot Dolby Vision video up to 4K 60 frames per second. So the way I kind of look at the 13 mini is it's almost like a 12 mini Pro, if that makes sense. If I had to kind of weigh the 13 mini or 13 Pro scale right now, I'm actually slightly leaning a little further towards the Pro. I know either way I'm gonna be happy, and honestly, even if I was just to stick out the 12 mini for another year, I would be content. But if you guys have any input, let me know down below. Real quickly, I want to give a shout out to the good people over at Salesforce for supporting the channel and sponsoring a portion of today's video. If you run a business, you absolutely gotta check them out. So if you are a business, customer needs are always evolving, especially in what is now a work from anywhere, increasingly digital world, and Salesforce makes it easier to adapt. There's no doubt you spend a ton of time on your website, so make it work harder for you. You can also meet your customers where they're at to better assist them by connecting your email, your phone, and social channels, and easily respond to them right inside of Salesforce. So when you need to get a message out to your customers or share a special promotion, mass email is the best way to do that, but you can't forget about personalization. You can demo this for free, and solutions are just 25 bucks a month, so definitely make sure to check out that link to learn more. And again, big thank you to Salesforce for sponsoring a portion of this video. Next up is one of my absolute favorite gadgets this year. It is something currently in my tech bag as we speak, which is actually a lot just more streamlined, simple. So if you want to see an updated video on that, drop a like down below. But if you're familiar with Apogee, whether you've used the original Duet or the Duet 2, I feel like we've been waiting for an update forever, and this is it. The design on this is ridiculous. It's super futuristic looking, really compact, which makes it really easy to throw in your bag. It packs USB-C, thank goodness. It is bus power, which makes things so much easier when you're on the go, so you're not hunting and looking for power. I have it paired with my 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro, which is kind of the dream combination. The power, the battery life, the portability paired with the bus-powered nature of the Duet 3 is kind of hard to beat. You do, of course, have that classic Apogee breakout cable, which is included with the interface, but something new this year is there's an optional dock, which kind of lets you put it into desktop mode. It's still bus powered, but it gives you more of an at your desk feel. And what's kind of awesome about that is it gives you an additional headphone out, which is really handy. This thing will also double as a lossless audio playback monster. So a lot of the times, even without the breakout cable or the dock, I'll have it hooked up to my MacBook. It works with iPad as well. Pair it with some nice headphones and call it a day. Now, if you are a musician, something really cool here is there's DSP packed inside the Duet 3. And I don't know what they're doing, but their channel strip is ridiculous. For multiple projects, I have tracked acoustic guitar with the mic that I'm using right now. It's not insanely expensive, directly into the Duet 3 with their channel strip, and sometimes it just does not make sense. That was one of my favorite projects I've got a chance to work on with the talented boys over at City Crease, so I'll drop a link to that video down below, as well as, you didn't hear it from me, a secret iPad mini giveaway. The details are in that video. Jumping back into my favorites, this is something that I just got today. It's what I'm using to record this video right now as we speak. See, true story, I'm still on the 12 mini, but what this boy is, that guy sitting on top of the A7S III, is the Atomos Ninja Plus. It'll shoot ProRes RAW up to a ridiculous 8K in this case. I'm just using it to bring even more of the awesome out of the A7S III. And being a Final Cut user, what this gives me is the flexibility of RAW, but with the simplicity of ProRes, and thus far, I could not be happier. The A7S III is an incredible camera. It's what I've used for most of this year, so I am so excited to pair it with a Ninja Plus and somehow get even more out of it. Next, I realized AirPods Max did not come out this year, but I didn't really use them a ton in 2020 when they dropped. After the update came out with Apple Lossless and, more importantly, spatial audio, that kind of changed the game for me. I was fortunate enough to hang out at a Dolby Atmos studio with the man, the myth, the legend, look at that beard, Dave Way. I also have a more detailed video breaking down not only spatial audio and Dolby Atmos, but the Apple Music lossless update as well. That video is somewhere around my face and also in the description. Next up, if you couldn't tell, I've been living in the audio world this year, but something really cool I've got a chance to check out are the Frontier by Output. They are studio monitors, AKA speakers, but the cool part here is they were co-created with Barefoot, who makes some of the best studio monitors in the game. Barefoot speakers are incredible, but they're a little pricey and not the most affordable. So for Barefoot to team up with Output and bring something of that caliber at a more affordable scale is awesome. Aesthetically, they look phenomenal, but more importantly, they sound great. And I would say one thing I've noticed with Barefoot is they deliver just insanely crisp high end. You get that here as well as a really solid amount of low end. If you are someone on entry-level studio monitors or even mid-range and want to jump up, this is probably the best pair you can check out. Next, I got to give a shout out to the new A15 iPad mini. It's definitely not perfect. There's a few hiccups, but for what you get in terms of the power, the size, the price, it is kind of hard to beat. I would have loved to have seen Face ID included here, but the fact that you get Touch ID is a nice runner-up. And honestly, it's just kind of an all-around tiny workhorse. Whether you want to use it for notes, it is compatible with the current gen Apple Pencil. Whether you want to use it as a media playback consumption device. Something really cool with not only the iPad mini, but the iPhone 13 lineup as well, because of the A15, is there is ProRes accelerators in the chip. So this little tiny powerhouse iPad mini could edit essentially the footage we're shooting here, or even something like an Airy Alexa Mini. You could of course pair it with the Duet 3 that I talked about for this ultimate tiny compact Apple Music lossless machine. The other cool thing is if you are on that mini life, 12 mini, 13 mini, and you need a bigger screen, this kind of gives you the best of both worlds for roughly the price of an iPhone 13, which is definitely food for thought. So while the year is definitely by no means over, I am actually really excited for the Pixel 6. I hope Google knocks it out of the park. This has been a roundup of some of my favorite tech so far. Let me know what yours is. Drop a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. This is Jonathan, and I will catch you guys later.